The what? The what? And the what? Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of Xerath Prevails. We've got the road ahead here and I'm on my lunch break so we gotta hustle. But, geez, there's a lot to be covered. Unfortunately for everyone ever, we are not getting Paige Tico into the game. Unfortunately for all of us, Rose's hot sister will remain an enigma and unavailable, which is probably the case for the majority of people anyways. Now we've got road ahead. It's got a lot to say, and I think I'm mostly just going to be giving you guys like kind of my initial thoughts without actually like reading all of it, because you guys can read and there's a lot going on. So I mean I'll probably read some of it. Like the synopsis is pretty accurate though. I like that it's Crumb who's doing it. They trust Crumb to do this release. Wonderful, good job, Crumb. Yeah, and it's well written actually. Okay, so February 2023 road ahead. So we get new Tuskens. We get UI changes, which I don't know if they talked about that too much. Probably a little bit, maybe for the raids. They need to change them for Datacrons, what they need to do. New hero's journey for Kestis, and a new raid. It's not just a new raid, it's a whole new raid system. And the raid system, I don't know. I didn't really see him going this direction. I'm not too surprised, but I'm not too happy either. Alright, Tusken faction. I'm not really going to go too in-depth about the Tusken chieftain and warrior. We don't know what the warrior does. And anyways, but it's kind of interesting. Alright, so we've got the chieftain. And let's see. He's a solemn leader. Like, what's the difference between a solemn leader and just like keeps his cool, like doesn't like just physically panic. Everyone's gonna just see him. He looks solemn. Behind that mask, I mean, I look really solemn right now if I was wearing a mask, right? Probably. If I was just keeping my mouth shut. But let's see, it brings his momentum. So that's the mechanic that I never thought was that overpowered with Jango, though. Sign of Jango, though. I never really learned how to use him that well, because I never thought that I felt like I needed to use him, frankly. But I guess if we all have our overgeared Sign of Jango characters, should be interesting. And he actually lets you, if we have another 3v3 Omicron coming out, and it's gonna let us use Sign of Jango as long as we don't use this guy and Sign of Jango and the Tusken with his Omicron. So, what? I don't really know. You gain some momentum. That's cool. That's where Sign of Jango learned it, apparently. I don't know. The Tusken warrior. I like that they made sure to make it a she. Her kit. It's like, what about this kit? What like, why? I guess, is it a female in the show? I don't, it doesn't matter to me. I just think it's funny. They're like, oh, let's just arbitrarily give this person a gender, I guess. It's fine. Just don't need to bring that topic into discussion. Finishing strikes, I mean, I don't think anyone cares about having better Tuskens. I've always thought it was strange that we only have 3, so having a couple more to make the faction more robust, and then making Sign of Jango another, like he can be in GACs your 6th, so that you can have 2 different squads. I mean, that's kind of cool, I guess. And then giving them instant use in this raid coming up is also kind of cool. So I like that they're just being more overt about this. Actually, guys, this is actually a positive thing. So we've all been annoyed when CG's like, when we're like, oh, we don't want to gear Inquisitors, and CG's like, oh, hey, guess what? You get to gear Inquisitors. You get to gear Inquisitors because they're going to be everywhere. They're gonna be everywhere. And That's what, you know, they're going to be in the challenges. They're going to be in Conquest. They're going to be apparently in Assault Battles. There's going to be a new Datacron set for them. Like, they're getting the special treatment, folks. They've done that for Inquisition. They've done it for Hutt Cartel. And now they're doing it for Tuskens. And I like that they actually just went out and said it, because we all know it existed. And whether it annoys us or not, at least they're being forthright about it, or forthcoming. I don't know about forthright, but maybe they're being forth left. You never know. Anyways, why not both? Can you be both fort left and fort right? What about Fortnite? There's all sorts of fortifications. In fact, you're gonna need fortifications for this new raid. You're gonna have to bunker down for this madness, guys. So the Tuskens. All right, we really can't read all of this, guys. It took me like probably like 7 hours to read this whole thing myself. This is a lot of reading. New mechanic called Defiance. Some of these things. So if you like raids, I think that a lot of these things are going to be awesome. If you really, really care about doing raids, which I think a lot of people do actually enjoy them. I've never really loved them specifically, but I think that there's a lot of mechanics here that seem cool. Like, we can actually use debuffs to influence things. I think that it's actually it's fairly interesting. You can only use specific factions here to be able to fight in the raids. I think that will make the raids more dynamic in a lot of ways, and also prevent a bunch of broken crap from entering it. You know, like, CG hated so much that zombie with Anakin interaction against the Sith raid phase 3 back in the day, and they don't have to deal with that anymore by doing this. Well, maybe a little bit, but it sounds like they're going to be pumping out the raids left and right, folks, and I guess they can do it just because they can limit the number of factions that are part of it. I think it's interesting. So Mandalorian, obviously in the Mandalorian series, he fights the Crate Dragon, you know, Jawas. Sorry guys, work notifications here. You can hear the chiming. That's just chiming on in, but I'm trying to limit that though. I think it's interesting that, you know, they bring all sorts of different places in, and so the Mandalorian faction especially, I bet we're probably, they'd be crazy if they didn't put out some good Mandalorian stuff, some good characters, some new content for the upcoming Mando Season 3, which it's rumored that we're going to be seeing large-scale battles between a lot of different Mandalorians. Could be a really great opportunity to really flesh out this faction, so we'll be able to use Maul here, I guess. And yeah, so I kind of like the limiting, honestly, guys. The problem being, of course, that you're gonna have to stay on the edge. Like, every time a new raid is released, people are gonna have to hustle. They're gonna have to be like, oh man, I don't want to get booted from my guild, so I better build at least one of these teams. And Old Republic is a nice nod to the Knights of the Old Republic game, of course, where Revan goes in and kills a Crate Dragon almost for fun, and then he has to kill a bounty hunter. For some reason, he gets ambushed by a bounty hunter. It's really interesting, but this is I kind of like that. They're also one of the things. So point-based system. They're giving us more rewards and stuff. One of the things that they really point out here is that okay, so we're not gonna get piled on rewards from the other, what they're calling legacy raids anymore. Now they're going to give us, if we participate at all, we'll get the same rewards as we were from the old raids. So we don't have to worry about it. The thing is, we have to participate. We have to go in and fight during the raid. The good news is, even if your guild is really on top of things, kills the Crate Dragon in like 10 minutes, like they kill it in like 1 minute, then you're still able to go in. The raid goes for the entire length of time. So if it's like, oh, well, the raid could last for 2 days, but our guild killed it in 3 hours, I guess the raid is over in 3 hours. They're gonna have it last the entire 2 days, so then you can go in and do your attacks, even if the rest of your guild has finished it, and you're guaranteed to get the rewards. You get your personal rewards as well, which I also like. I don't like the fact that we can't just sim them anymore, though it sounds like if we participate in the raid at all, we gain these rewards. The questions I have about this, folks, are, first off, they're getting rid of the challenge Rancor. It says it somewhere here, guys. I'm not going to try to search for it, but it says they're getting rid of the challenge Rancor. Does that mean that we're not going to get the challenge Rancor rewards in this big redded area? Will we not get those rewards? I want to know, why can't we have those rewards? Because those are the best rewards by far, by a huge margin. We need those rewards. Like those are absolutely necessary for us to be able to continue along. So I don't know, like that'll be annoying if they don't. Like I'll be extremely annoyed. I'll be like, oh, I'm annoyed. I like that they have different difficulty levels and stuff. That's cool. Non-heroic tiers now have a 3-day timer for these legacy raids. See, they're not considering the challenge pit Rancor as one. Yeah, so the Crate Dragon is the first, or is the latest in a chain of raids. I think it is funny, like we get half of the raids now. I mean, if we count the challenge Rancor as well, which we can't, I guess, but if we did count the challenge Rancor, we could say 60% of all the raids were on Tatooine. Even 50% though is quite a bit. So, all right. Next, we're gonna have to fight the Sarlacc, I'm sure. That'll be great. So raids, guys, changes, and I don't know, there seem, the other big thing, guys, the other huge thing is they're taking away our ability to do the murking is what people call it, where, if you don't know what that is, it's like you leave your guild for just a little bit of time, go join a different guild, fight their raid with them, get your rewards from that raid, and then leave, go back to your own home guild, and then you can do the raid there, depending on the timer. Like, there's a whole formula and everything. CG has always hated that. They've always tried to clamp down on it, and people have always been able to skirt the system just a little bit, and so murking is no longer an option. The way they talked about it here, basically just not an option. They're restricting a lot of different aspects of it and making it completely unworth their while, which I actually like, because I don't have time to raid or to murk. I don't have time to run the raid anyways, so I don't know when I'm going to find time for that. But this is all very interesting stuff. The other part of this whole thing, as if this wasn't enough, they, not that I'm complaining, this is great to have this information, because we've had no real direction about where this game is going for a little bit. We just haven't known. We're getting Cal Kestis, and as I read it, it looks like we're getting Cal Kestis, like the dude that's just hiding out and just doing his thing, and he's gonna be a character who helps then unlock his bigger character later. So we'll get Cal, Kestis, Sirjunda, Marin. We'll get 2 other characters, it sounds like, at least 1 other character, and then we'll eventually get Cal Kestis Survivor, like Cal Kestis Noob, Jedi Noob should be in the parentheses for the first version of it. But it seems cool. The weird thing is we're getting 3 dedicated Omicrons to territory battle missions. And it sounds like either they're just going to create new nodes. They're going to be like, hey, you have more to do in territory battles now, guys. How's that? We know that we made you spend more time playing territory battles every day. And, we're well aware that you don't love that, but we love the extra engagement because that helps our stats make it look like we're awesome because you spend so much time in game. We thought that because you're so angry about that, you wouldn't mind if we just added more, because you can only reach a certain level of anger, right? Like, I don't know, it's just frustrating. I was just talking on my podcast yesterday in fact, I was like, you know what I would love from this year would be something that makes us spend less time in game. And it's like, this road ahead is, hey, you have to play the raid. There's no option now. You have to actually engage in it. Watch the big red bolded font. You have to engage in it. And also, we're going to give you more nodes on territory battles. That'll be great. You'll love that. But we have 3 dedicated Omicrons to territory battles, which is just pure madness. Why do we need 3? I'm very curious to see what 3, why do they think we need 3? I want to know. For territory battles, like, we need 0. We need 0 territory battle Omicrons. Why do they think we need 3 for this character? And when are they going to make them more available to us? It would be really great. we are getting a new territory battle planet for Rise of the Empire, so that'll be cool. I was actually speculating that we're going to get Endor eventually for the Endor Leia thing, but this is our first like bonus node, so this will be cool, I guess. Use of these characters, conquest feats, and territory battle bonuses, so bonus zones. So this is also going to, the bonus zone is mentioned here specifically too, but the conquest feats is also going to be a thing. So 5 new characters from the Jedi Fallen Order, so I think they didn't list one of them. The other big thing that I want to point out that I'm really excited about is we're getting Marin, whatever her name is. Should be cool. Gonna be a good time to you know, boost the Night Sisters. So we're getting a Tusken boost, a Night Sister boost. We're getting Jedi Fallen Order characters, which is something I wanted. We're getting for our first bonus node for territory battles, which is also exciting. And we're also getting a raid restructuring, which it sounds like it's an okay way to do it if we're going to buy into raids, which I'm not sold that I want to buy into them, but it seems cool. So I think the other thing that I want to point out here, folks, is the fact that they took it away. They took this. They took away a thing in this thing. Here, let me see if I can find it. Hold on. Here it is. So they had let's see. Yeah. So the so Meatface. He was the one who made the Tusken chieftain thing, and you guys can read it yourselves. We might go over it once the new one comes out, the warrior. But the thing that makes me kind of chuckle just a little bit here is, so this inspiration, they have a thing about some inspiration. What originally it said, and now it's been deleted. They forced him to delete it. He says, well, it's now that this is on the bottom, you're not going to read it anyway, so we can say pretty much whatever we want. Like, hey, you should start leveling up your Sith ships. And apparently he said it was just a joke that made him take it down. And I'm like, this is actually like, this doesn't seem like a joke-worthy thing, so please don't joke about that if it's not a real, actual hint, please. That is obnoxious as hell, and I'm glad that it's gone. So guys, thank you so much for watching. Let me know what your thoughts are. Turn it over to you in the comments. Thank you so much for watching, and remember that in all things, Zareth goes back to work.